Hey everyone, it's Roberto Baldwin, Senior Editor at Engadget, and I'm going to be riding the Genze 2.0 electric scooter from Mahindra. It's an electric scooter, which at this point isn't that special. What does make this special is this. It has a giant bed, like you can shove this in here like a pickup truck. It has this big bed. And if that's not enough storage for you, it also has room underneath the seat. Just lift it up here. I got a camera in here. I could probably put another camera. You can put iPads, phones, anything you want in there. It has a cigarette lighter adapter so you can charge stuff. And there's a little pocket up front. I got a phone in here. I got some sunglasses. I could probably put a hoagie up here, maybe a Subway, probably a foot long. It might stick out a little bit. So I'm gonna be driving this around Las Vegas for the next couple hours, and we'll see how it works. Here we go. So that was fun. Now, the Genze 2 has a range of about 30 to 35 miles, which is pretty good when you're just running around town. It has a top speed about 30 miles per hour, so it's classified as a moped, so you don't need a motorcycle license to buy this thing or to ride it. What's really cool is that it has a touch screen interface, so you can make adjustments to the type of riding you want to do. You can do it in sport mode for a little bit more power. You can do it in safe mode if you're a new rider. As you let off the throttle, it'll actually start slowing down. And econo mode if you want to save some battery time. You can also do a lot more adjustments with this thing. You can go in, you can adjust how much power goes to the engine, how much regen torque you have, and of course how much torque. And you can see your battery percentage and how much range you have, so that's really helpful. Just everything can be adjusted from this touchscreen, which is pretty sweet. So, fun fact, I actually took that scooter to In-N-Out to get food, because In-N-Out, and I didn't realize till about 3/4 of the way back, you're not allowed to lane split in Nevada. Yeah, I was just riding by and a cop's like, hey! And I'm like, stop lane splitting! I'm like, sorry.
That sounds like Robbie, everybody. If you don't know, this is Roberto Baldwin. And I'm Carrie Davis. I do some videos here for Engadget. And we're here to talk about the glory of scooters because that is Robbie's thing.
It's my jam.
That's his jam. And as you can see, I want to tell a story before we get too deep because I love knowing this fun fact that he could have gotten arrested and ticketed because what I was thinking when you were showing how much room was in the scooter was about, I wanted to ask if you had room for tickets because I didn't even know. Because when he first got the scooter, he was doing like loops around the parking lot, real proud of himself. And immediately a CES security guard comes over on her little golf cart to like regulate about where he can and can't be.
I'm a troublemaker.
You are.
Like low level though, not like drugs are, more like kid who accidentally steals like a piece of gum because he put it in his pocket while grabbing a soda.
That's what I would go with too if I were you. And also your height and then the scooter and always getting in trouble. It's just
it
so
doesn't
great.
help with the giant bright blue jacket.
Yeah, you're kind of noticeable.
I stick out.
Okay.
So the Genze scooter, I rode it around. It's a nice little scooter if you're looking for something. You don't have a motorcycle license. That's sort of the selling point for some of these scooters. This one also has that big trunk. You can put things in it. Now, if you saw it doesn't have anything on top of it, they're going to start selling accessories. So you can zip it up, or you can lock it up, or you can.
So you will be all super outfitted, like people that commute on bikes.
Yeah, you can buy like in a real truck, you can get like a truck, what is those covers for the trucks? You can get that for that as well.
Right.
And lock your
That's
your stuff
what you need on your scooter.
Yeah, you need like a big lock box. Just get a giant one.
Just a dome.
I'm sure
like
once
the
they start
alien
selling it, people start
spaceship.
making their own,
Yeah.
and they'll just make like giant ones.
I mean, that's what makers
Little holes
do,
and
right?
their dogs can look out of it.
Okay, this got weird. So yeah, there is a lot. You're right. There is a lot of storage in the back. I noticed that because usually when you see people riding on scooters, they have their giant backpack, like nah.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to do that.
You're talking about me, aren't you?
I'm talking about you again.
Also, with that scooter, it has a removable battery. So it's like a suitcase, so you can pop it out. You can take it inside at your work or at home and just plug it into the wall. and it charges in about 3.5 hours. You get about 30 miles.
30 miles.
Yeah.
That is the rechargeable take out and go back in feature. That is a new thing with scooters, right? It's not the only one.
It's not. It's definitely not the only one.
Yeah.
When we'll
more
have,
recent though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more recent. And they're shipping it to consumers now, but they're going to have their big launch later this month. So
Okay.
if you're looking for like a moped class scooter, you don't have a motorcycle license, and you live in an area, because the top speed's 30, and I drove it on something that was 45, and it was kind of hairy.
You're a little nearly dying.
But that was the
huge.
way to get to In and Out.
That's what I mean. I understand.
I put my life in danger.
You needed some California cuisine out
Yeah.
here in the desert. Question for you. I know that you're really into scooters. Is this, how did it handle in terms
It
of...
handled pretty well. You're sitting pretty upright on the scooter compared to like a Vespa or anything else on it. So initially it's a little odd, but you get used to it pretty quickly. And as soon as you get on any sort of motorcycle or scooter, within like 5 minutes, you're like, oh, I got this. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
it's not-
I grew up in a very rural area, North Dakota. It exists. It exists. We don't live in teepees either. People also ask. Anyways, so I had a dear friend whose parents, to get her into town, she was just outside of town, she had a moped for like 2 years, and it was the hit. We all loved it. That's how we got around. We somehow would engineer like 8 of us getting to one person's house using that one moped, just one person going back and forth. Like that. You would have loved it, Robbie.
Yeah.
If only you'd been from my hometown.
Oh, I was from a small town. I had a Honda Spree, little 50cc,
There you
and I
go.
rode, and I got knobby tires on. I used to jump it. That thing was a machine. I knocked it over a couple. It just kept going.
Wow.
So one of my friends stole it. Anyway,
That
yeah.
doesn't sound like a
And
friend.
then I sold it to another friend. He used it to drive around his thing.
So this is why we're here. We come from terrible beginnings, and now
Yay.
we're at Engadget, if
Now
in
we're on
case you were
stage.
wondering.
So speaking about scooters, we're also going to talk a little bit about Gogoro, who is here.
Let's invite them to the stage.
Let's
Please
invite
come
them
on
to the
up.
stage. Come on up.
Everyone have a seat, grab a mic, and we will chat, because I know you test drove the Gogoro scooter
I
in
did.
Taiwan, and
Yep.
they have a rechargeable battery also.
They do. So we have Horace Luke, CEO, Jason Gordon, who does everything. Yeah.
Does
yeah.
the CEO have a name?
Horace Luke.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Sorry,
Right into the microphone, right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
okay.
go. So you guys have something new. Last year, you guys launched at CES. Within 6 months, you had scooters on the road, which, if you've been to CES, you know it's like 90% vaporware. Impressive.
They're like, we're building next
so what
year.
So what are you guys doing now?
Well, last year we announced the Gogoro Smart Scooter that, along with the Gogoro Energy Network, let you swap battery anywhere you go. I think you came to Taiwan and tried it out. It's pretty cool. Well, over the last couple months, over the last 4 months, we launched about 140 Go stations around Taipei, and about 4,000 scooters sold so far. So big news, big momentum, and then the biggest news this year is that we launched the Gogoro Open Initiative, which really led other people around the world, because we've been getting a lot of feedback from all sorts of corners around the world saying, hey, you know what? I love Taipei, I love mega cities, but like you said, maybe I don't live in a mega city, but I want to be part of the Gogoro vision. And it's a way for them to really raise their hand and say, hey, I want to be part of this initiative. I want to nominate myself or a business or others to be part of the Gogoro Energy Network and host a Go charger that let people top up the battery when they're on the go also, as well as swapping. So it's big news for us. It's a big step for us to globalize and go beyond the initial pilot city and the second city, Amsterdam, that we're going to this year. So it's a big step for us.
Yeah, I don't think we anticipated kind of the broad interest in what we're offering around the world. I mean, when we unveiled last year at CES, we were very vocal about, we're focused on mega cities 5-10 million people that are very densely populated. And the idea of battery swapping on a two-wheel vehicle is very new. It was a very novel idea. And now we're doing 2,000-3,000 battery swaps a day. But people outside of mega cities all over the world are saying, we want Gogoro. And so that's why we introduced Gogoro Open this week.
Cool. And for people who are unaware, so they're battery swapping. Instead of taking the battery out and charging it or plugging it in somewhere, it's like a gas station. You guys have these chargers around town in Taipei. Like, how many chargers do you have?
We have 140 Go stations. They're swapping stations.
Yeah, so you have 140 Go stations. So you roll up with your scooter, you pull out the battery, and you just grab a new one, you swap them out, and you just keep going. So
That
it's
is
just like
great.
it's like the same amount of time it takes to fill up your gas scooter. So
And-
it sort of gets rid of that whole like, oh, I got to wait 30 minutes, I got to wait an hour. Boom, you're ready to go.
Exactly. One of the greatest obstacles of EV adoption is where do I go to charge and how long do I have to wait, especially in cities because people don't have dedicated parking, they don't have garages. And so we wanted to introduce something that they were familiar with already. Gas stations, coffee shops, 7-Elevens. And so we have people pulling up to 7-Eleven and swapping batteries in 10 seconds and going.
And I can see why you're in Taipei as a launching point because I've been there before to cover Computex.
It's awesome.
Oh my gosh, they take if you haven't been, just Google image search scooters in Taipei. It's like the whole family's on there. They carry everything.
Yeah.
Rush hour is incredible.
It's my favorite place.
Yeah, it's great.
Like you go there, I'm like, oh my God, these are my people.
And is it because you're so tall and you can see everything?
There's that, yeah.
Yeah, you feel like a lord above
Yeah,
all.
I feel
it's not
that's
fair.
pretty much everywhere
Well, so Amsterdam, you're going to. What are your plans for after? Do you have other cities already picked out you can talk about?
Well, that's part of why we do the Gogoro Open Initiative is to really help us prioritize and look at hot cities that are coming up. You know, if a city has thousands of people raising their hands and signing up, like we opened up the portal just earlier this week, and I was just saying within the first half an hour we had hundreds of people sign up, and we literally have corners of the world that we weren't even anticipating saying, hey, we got to be next, we got to be next. And
yeah, I mean, we get
that's,
emails from all over the U.S. all the time, San Francisco especially. We want Gogoro.
Yep.
So for people in San Francisco or New York, this is their opportunity to raise their hand and say, I want Gogoro to come to my city.
So how do you guys? There's another element of this open initiative that's going to help sort of kickstart it, and what is that?
Well, think of it as while in Taipei, like
Yeah.
you said, right? There's tons of people moving around on scooters, but 70%, 80% of people don't have a parking location spot. And when they do have a parking spot, it's not a private parking spot, it's a public parking spot. So it's really a challenge for them to charge and go. The whole idea of charge and go is non-existent in a big city where thousands of people are living on top of each other, right? But in a place like, for example, Milan, where 80% of people actually have a parking location, the usability might be a little flip, might be a little different. But yet people still want to kind of relieve their own range anxiety, like you said, right?
Yeah.
If you can go only 50, 60 miles on a charge, well, you can't get very far. It's a little bit of a hassle. You have to worry a lot, right? Everything has to be divided by half. You get there, and then how do you get back? How long would it take to get back? Well, to relieve that, of course, the swapping scenario still applies. But most of the time, everybody commutes about 10, 20 miles a day, and it's great to charge at home also. So that's what the Go Charger is there for. And then that on top of the Gogoro Open Initiative allows people to place a Go Charger into a business, into a place of public access for them to top off the battery. And if you qualify, sign up in the portal, and if you qualify, we'll send you a charger for free. Plug it in, it instantly connects to our server, post it on our app, and then users can actually see where your charger is.
Yeah, you imagine maybe you work from Stumptown every morning, and so you ride to Stumptown, you put your batteries in, top it off, and then you can go.
So I would imagine, this is just me, but you're at CES, this is very US so far, you have charging stations overseas. You must want a US city to get on board. Which one are you hoping for?
This guys keep telling me which one it should be.
Well, it should be San Francisco.
Yeah.
That is a motorcycle scooter. I mean, it's not Taipei. It's like maybe 10%, 5%, half a percent are Taipei.
Right.
But compared to a lot of other U.S. cities, because we have the same temperature, it's 60 degrees and overcast all year round in San Francisco. Like
Except
5
for
days.
sometimes.
Sometimes, like 8 days of summer, like 20 days of rain, but for the most part, 60 degrees.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Overcast. So it's perfect for riding.
Yeah, I just got an electric scooter actually that I'm going to try out. I'm super excited about, so I'll be commuting on that.
Oh.
It's really cool. You can try it. But yeah, so I could see this being a fit. I do agree.
Yeah, and when we talk about scooters, I mean, the smart scooter has a top speed of 60 miles an hour, has a range of 60 miles. And so this is truly a performance vehicle that you can take around, whether it be San Francisco or Brooklyn or wherever.
I rode it. It's fun.
I know.
It's as fast as I have a 250 Vespa. It's as fast as a 250 Vespa, but in like a 125 package. So it's a zippy. It's super solid. Yeah, I had a lot of fun riding it in Taipei.
But going back to the the whole why we're here, why we're here in CES and why we're here in Las Vegas, I see this show as really a platform, not necessarily just for the U.S. market, but really how do we apply creativity of connectivity, technology that we have developed, all this fun stuff about gadget, and apply to a very meaningful application that is gonna, the Earth is, with all the talk about climate change and weather change and pollution and congestion in big cities, we need to apply a lot of that creativity, a lot of that engineering to solving real meaningful problem that is going to affect humanity of tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. That's what CES has become, and that's why we're very proud to be here to launch the Gogoro Open Initiative and take it to the next level.
So is it your belief then more people should not have cars and they should commute on things like scooters? That's a solution for climate change?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as you look at the scooter, for example, on average, every kilometer, every mile, output, let's say if you're a 250cc gas scooter versus a Gogoro, we only output 5% because of energy creation and less than 5% of the emission than a gas scooter per kilometer.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a significant reduction. And also think about parking, think about congestion, think about traffic issues that we have. A scooter, a two-wheel vehicle, can be a solution for big cities. And like you said, yes, so much fun just buzzing around, going from point A to point B. Why not make ourselves feel younger every day? Have fun while you get on the go, right? Don't be stuck in a car with a stereo blasting and the air conditioning blasting. Go zip around town and go from point A to point B without worrying about parking, without worrying about traffic congestion.
It makes sense.
It is really like I hate to be like the super pro scooter guy, but in San Francisco, New York, whatever, it is the greatest vehicle. We have my wife and I have a Fiat, and sometimes I have to go across town. She's like, drive the car. I'm like, no.
Well,
I'm going to take the scooter because I'm always going to be able to get there much quicker, and I can just park anywhere.
Yeah, I bet there are people in your neighborhood who know you as like the scooter guy when you go like buzzing past. He's an affectionado for sure. Scooter Robbie.
There's a lot.
Is he Conan? What's happening? What's happening in my neighborhood? But it's funny how if people like you and I from small towns who are very used, I grew up in the Midwest, very used to car culture, can then become, right? That's how you get around.
That was the car culture, like in a small town in the United States, it is car, that's how you escape.
Yeah.
But in the big city, I mean, I think it's scooters,
in the
motorcycles.
cities in the U.S., in climates that can accommodate, this does seem like a good solution. Yeah.
So it's.
Well, you're not freezing.
Yeah, you're definitely.
Different story then.
But like you said, right, a car is great for long distance commute, where you need comfort, you need endurance. Short distance commute, public transportation or walking or others is very convenient, or bicycling. But like a town in San Francisco, right, very hilly. If you want to get really far, you can't bike that far. Well, for anything that's 5 to 10, 20 miles, take a scooter. It's much more convenient.
Cool. So why don't you, if you're interested in signing up your town or a local business or yourself for the initiative, where can the viewers go?
Well, the viewers can go to www.gogoro.com/open. That's the portal for us to really allow all the people out there to just basically sign up and raise their hand and say, I want Gogoro to be in my town next. And so that's how we're making sure that we get to the people they're really, voting for us.
Cool. And you guys are expecting, like, because of regulations and stuff, it'll be available for cities in Europe first and then the United States? Is that?
Well, the vehicle is already certified for Europe. We got that a couple of weeks ago, and so all of Europe is all accessible to us now. And then very soon, in the middle of the year or so, we should be able to get the U.S. certification, working through the last details at the moment. But once we do that, really, everybody on Earth can pretty much get access to the vehicle.
Cool. I already signed up.
Are you?
Yes.
You're such a fanboy.
Thank
it's
you.
almost.
Okay.
No, it's fine. I get it.
Which color would you like?
It's not. All right. So my question is, you were saying that you were talking to multiple scooter manufacturers here. So this initiative, I would assume, then can be used in other scooters. Is that the idea?
Absolutely. The whole idea behind it is really around an open platform. We see it as a chicken egg problem. The reason why we built the smart scooter and built it in such a great high performance and also high technology is to showcase what the platform can really do. We are in the middle of talking to a number of folks, working with a number of folks to really take the battery technology, which is what we wanted to do, and the swapping infrastructure and apply it to a new class of vehicles that swaps and go. Get over, as Jason said, get over the hurdle of deploying electric in a city. So for example, if somebody wants to deploy an electric scooter in Taipei using our battery system, drop it in, tomorrow it turns on, right? With an infrastructure that refuels and lets them go and buzz around town without worrying about range. So that's the vision, and we've been excited about the feedback we've gotten from all walks of life, both from consumer and also from manufacturer. I'm very excited about where Gogoro is heading.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming out, guys. Horace, CEO, Jason, master of everything else.
Something like that.
He's my boss, really.
Yeah, and that's
if you stick around another 10 minutes, in case you missed it, we'll be live right on this stage, and we have content coming all day tomorrow, or all day today, sorry, and half day tomorrow, live streaming, and right here on the stage. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.